Good afternoon from Lowell Park, where the YD Red Sox are on the road against the first team in the West. That's the Cotuit Kettleers, who are on a 7-game winning streak, the longest of the Cape League this season. YD has not beaten the Kettleers yet. Today might be the day. As always, it's Perri Kitei alongside Luke Poley. And Luke, 2 days ago, YD lost a 3-0 shutout to the Chatham Anglers, arguably the worst team in the league at this point. It was the first time YD's been shut out all season, and it's the first time they've lost 2 games in a row since early stages of June. What do you think that means for the team coming into today, especially after a game that was supposed to be played at home versus Brewster yesterday, somewhere they've been really solid, was postponed until next week?
Yeah, you had that postponement, you had the cancellation, but in a way, after a performance like the one we saw against Chatham a few nights ago, I think that might help you because it does give you that extra day to reset. But I think what you saw from that lack of offensive production is evident in the lineup today. There's a lot of changes. Guys are playing in new positions in the field. Guys like Max Vieira, who's in left. Xander Darby, his normal spot at third base is occupied. He moves over to first. And also some new guys in the lineup. Ryan Stafford has made his way back from Team USA camp. And Theo Hardy is going to make his debut. He'll hit leadoff for the Red Sox today out of San Jose State. He had a fantastic spring. It's a bit of a shakeup for Scott Pickler here today, but that comes after you said their biggest offensive struggle of the season a couple of nights ago, trying to get back to that production against the best team in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
We've talked also about how injuries have impacted this team this season. Still no R.J. Austin in the lineup, who was such an important guy in that leadoff spot for more than 10 games in a row. But now he is still battling an ankle injury. Theo Hardy taking over that spot. We saw Enzo Apodaca in the leadoff spot. We've seen a lot of guys moving up and down the lineup. Hunter Hines moved up to 3 as he was 2 days ago. But I'm really excited for the return of Ryan Stafford. He was on hiatus while playing for Team USA. The collegiate team went touring all around Asia and I believe parts of Europe maybe, and now is back, and his bat should be a really important addition to the YD lineup.
Yeah, he was really rock solid for Scott Pickler in this YD team before his departure, and he is a guy that they're very happy to get back, especially with Will King being released after he was drafted by the Atlanta Braves. This is a really, really strong bat in the YD lineup, and he also brings a ton of defensive upside to this backstop for YD, a catching position that, despite the departure of King, I think has gotten just as strong as it was while he was here, with Stafford coming back, and also a new addition that we won't see in the lineup today, but Manny Garza out of Rice. He has been put onto the roster as well. So a couple of new faces, one that we've seen before that's coming back, another one that's entirely new in the catching position for YD, and I think Scott Pickler is really set at his backstop spot.
Yeah, for a couple of days, though, it was looking pretty grim. YD actually had to activate their bullpen catcher as a backup because there was literally nobody there. And part of what we saw because of that was that Connor Dykstra, who has been really good defensively behind the plate but hasn't been able to get it done at the plate, we couldn't pinch hit for him because Coach Pickler had nobody to come in and bat for him who could replace him then behind the plate, because baseball, unlike softball, you can't have a pinch hitter and then come back with the same guy. So really nice to see some depth. And Manny Garza was also a surprise addition. He was not someone that was signed previously to this season. He had a really nice year at Rice over in Texas and has earned his way onto a midseason spot here. So we'll see him probably in the future, maybe even in a pinch hitting situation. So I'm really excited about these new additions for Cotuit. Let's talk about the starters. It's Jansen Kiesel on the mound. Starting things off, Kiesel is making his 3rd start and his first since a 7-5 win versus Brewster on June 28th. He's played a lot in relief as well, has an ERA of 5, and he is facing Theo Hardy coming in this leadoff spot. Hardy stands tall in the lefty box, wiggling the bat. The first pitch on the way is a fastball right at hip level for strike 1. The 0-1 drops below the knees, and Hardy holds off. It's 1-1, waiting to swing on it until deeper in the count, evidently, versus Kiesel, the right-hander, into the wind. The pitch grounded up towards first and goes just foul. Scooped by Tobias. The count runs 1-2.
Yeah, Kiesel, he's pitched against YD once this season. That was back on July 2nd. Their only game here at Lowell Park between these two teams. And he came in when the Red Sox were beginning to rally in that 9th inning. He only faced 2 hitters, didn't record an out. He walked both of them before eventually Chase Hopewell was brought in for Cotuit, and he slammed the door.
The 1-2 on the way. The breaking ball drops off the plate. It's 2-2. Hardy batted .329 this year at San Jose State with 71 hits. He was an All-Mountain West first-team selection. The deep breath from Kiesel, the kick and pitch. Called strike 3 at the bottom of the zone. Hardy watched it go by. Really nice one. Just floated in there on the inside half of the plate. Would have been tough to swing at. And Jansen Kiesel retires the first guy on a strikeout.
Yeah, had some late life to it that I don't think Hardy was expecting as he watched it go by. There was some bite right before that ball got to the plate, and that just got a piece of the zone.
Brings up Max Vieira in the 2 spot, also playing left field, and he watches a first pitch strike go by. Kiesel hammering the zone early, not giving YD a chance to get ahead in the count. The YD bats have been quiet lately. The 0-1 on the way. Falls in again, strike 2. Kiesel's gotten both of them looking, and Vieira will be forced to swing to protect his life at the plate. Back in the righty box, waving the tan bat with the big knob. The pitch popped up into foul territory and out of play. Count remains the same with an evenly spaced infield and Hunter Hines on deck. Vieira has the bat vertical, now tilted slightly. Kiesel delivers, swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts to start things off for Jansen Kiesel. He is coming out really strong today.
He's got some nice speed variation, brought the heat there on Vieira, 96 miles an hour from the righty, and just couldn't catch up to the fastball.
Hines quickly into the box. We've seen 2 strikeouts today. Hines is a very strikeout-heavy hitter. First pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Hines going after it early in the at-bat. That just dropped below him. The bat inches above the spinning ball. The 0-1 falls inside. A good take from Hines, and the count's even 1-1. Hines all the way at the front of the box. As the 1-1 drops inside the zone for strike 2. That one at just 81 miles an hour broke over the inside half of the plate at that top corner. And Hines now down in the count. The 1-2 on the way at the shoulders. It's 2-2. Kiesel moving really quickly here. Already into the motion. The pitch. A called strike 3, a fastball on the inner side of the plate, 95 miles an hour. Kiesel strikes out the side. What an inning to start things off for the Kettleers, and they will go 1-2-3 at the plate when we're back. That was the top of the first. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Back for the bottom of the first, Carter Matheson leading off for the Kettleers. Ryan Stafford, the familiar face back behind the plate, and another familiar face on the bump is Smith Pinson, who has been one of the best starting pitchers for YD this season, a team whose pitching staff sits atop of the league in a lot of different statistics. He's into the wind for the first pitch to Matheson, and it's chopped foul up the first base line. Pinson is another strikeout heavy hitter. Out of Kennesaw State, stands at 6'5", throws from his right hand, the 0-1 on the way. A fastball away from the zone, it's 1-1. Pinson covering the face with his black mitt. Now set at the belt, the kick, he fires. The curve can't hit the top of the zone. That's ball 2. Brady Day jogging back to shallow right field. Darby at first base is all the way behind the bag. The 2-1 on the way. Drops on the inside half of the plate. A nice off speed for strike 2. Count evens up.
And a good frame there by Stafford, picking up right where he left off.
The 2-2 just misses at the top. And the count runs full. First full count we've seen today. Kiesel didn't let YD get anywhere close. He just wasn't even throwing anything outside the zone. The payoff. Misses low. That's ball 4. And Matheson walks for a leadoff base runner. Following Matheson is Cole Mathis, who has been one of the best home run hitters across the league. His home run last week was actually the home run of the week. Pinson checks on Matheson at first, now kicks and deals. A fastball at the bottom of the zone for strike 1.
There's a lot of space on the low part of the zone. Saw that in the top half of the inning with Jansen Kiesel. See if Pinson tries to keep the ball down. He can get that low strike call.
Pick off towards first, Matheson diving back. Pinson taking his time, making the most of the pitch clock. The 0-1 blooped towards center field, going back. Paxton Kling almost at the fence, makes the grab. That ball traveled a lot further in the air than I initially thought off the bat. That's just the power that Cole Mathis brings. But Paxton Kling was ready, and he retires him on the fly out for out number 1.
Yeah, that was not a good pitch to hit. And Mathis, that was pure muscle to get that as deep as it was. Like you said, that ball was outside. He was out in front of it. He took a step forward and reached for it. Looked like it was just going to be a little bloop shot in the shallow outfield, almost carried to the warning track.
First pitch on the way, drops low to Caleb Lamavita. Lamavita behind the plate today for the Kettleers. He's 0 for 2 overall versus YD at the plate. Had a couple of hits as a defensive sub, and he lines this, flies it foul. That ball was crushed over the fence on the left side, but could not stay fair. That ball was hammered.
And it cleared the fence by about probably 50, 60 feet, but just pulled it a little too hard.
Counts 1-1 with 1 gone, 1 runner on first. Pinson set, checks the runner. He throws on the ground towards third. This could be a chance for 2. The 1 at second, and the throw to first is in time. That retires the side. Pinson ends up facing the minimum thanks to the double play turned by Theo Hardy, making his first appearance at third base. And for the YD Red Sox, we're scoreless through 1 at Lowell Park, and we head to the top of the second on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Ryan Stafford leads off the top of the second for YD after a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the first. Jansen Kiesel has only strikeouts to this point, retired the first 3 batters he faced. And he's feeling hot coming into the second. First pitch on the way is swung on, popped up towards the shallow infield, sprinting in. Matheson is underneath it, hung up there for quite a bit of time. Allowed him to come in. The outfield was playing really deep, but that ball was straight away center, and Stafford is retired on 1 pitch.
Could to at least get some contact finally for YD, break up the string of strikeouts for Kiesel. Brady Day had a really strong game a couple of games ago. See if he can get back to that.
The first pitch, a fastball inside half of the plate. That's where Kiesel's been really strong so far today. Counts 0-1 with 1 gone. First 4 batters have been retired into the wind. It's lined up the middle, bounces on the ground once, picked up by Norris. And the runner is called out. It was a really close one, but the throw from Norris just in time. Tobias with the stretch beats out Day by half a step. And that brings up Paxton Kling. Just 3 pitches in the inning so far, already 2 outs. First pitch to Kling falls away. 82 miles an hour, the breaking ball on the outside half of the plate. Darby in the on-deck circle if it gets there, but Kiesel has retired the first 5. The 0-1 cranked up the left side, but foul. Kling just turned on it and pulled it, but really solid contact on a line. The outfielder out of LSU just finished up his freshman year, where he won a national championship, played in 57 games, a lot of those in relief. Back in the righty box with the purple, gold, and black gloves. The 0-2 falls away and low, a good hold, and it's 1-2. Kling taps the bag, waves the bat. Now he's set in the stance. Kiesel into the motion. The pitch just off the plate. A good hold from Kling. Moved the shoulders, but kept the bat in check. It's 2-2. Kiesel sends it. Below the knee is the frame from Loma Vida. Couldn't do it, and the count runs full. First full count we've seen from Jansen Kiesel today, and a couple of those were really close, just good holds by Paxton Kling, staying disciplined in the righty box. The payoff popped up and into the shallow infield coming in. Petrie at second calls everyone off. Camps out, makes the grab, and it's 6 up, 6 retired. Jansen Kiesel is motoring through the YD lineup and this game. We head to the bottom of the second. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Bottom of the second at Lowell Park, still scoreless. Cotuit back up to the plate for their second time around. In the 4th spot, it's Grant Norris. the shortstop out of Penn State. He was a graduate student there in 2023. And the first pitch from Pinson is a fastball at the bottom of the zone. Norris holds off for strike one. Norris batted .276. The 0-1 popped foul over our heads. It's 0-2. He's mostly a third baseman, but playing shortstop for the Kettleers today. Pinson fires. Just off the plate, ball one. Dangerous hold from Grant Norris goes his way. I thought that might have been Pinson's first called strikeout of the day, but it doesn't go his way. Infield backed up to the grass, evenly spaced. Pinson set now into the motion, and the pitch falls away for ball two. The 2-2 breaks into the lefty box. Count runs full once again. Pinson started off the first with a full count, walked him, ended up retired on a double play just a couple batters later. This time it's Grant Norris with the count full. Pinson steps off the bump to reset himself after initially being set. Now he's reset. He kicks and deals. The payoff, bumped foul towards the YD dugout. Again, it looked like a check swing that just went off the bottom part of the bat. So we'll do it again at 3-2. The pitch is hammered out towards center field, sprinting back. Paxton Kling at the fence, and it's gone. It bounces off the top of the yellow part of the fence, and Grant Norris sneaks one out of here. Cotuit leads 1-0.
It's one of the first opposite field home runs we've seen. Certainly the first in a while from Norris. Just forced Pinson to throw a strike. He wasn't swinging and missing, wasn't chasing, and eventually that forced Pinson to just put one over the plate and try to win the battle, and he sent it over the right center wall.
I thought that would go out a lot further than it did, but it bounced off the top of the fence as the first pitch to Emilian Petrie falls outside for ball one. Kling could have had a play on it, but it was a little further right than I thought. He didn't get a good read on it, and he just missed it. The 1-0 at the shoulders, it's 2-0. The YD outfield playing really deep. The 2-0 falls at the top of the zone, 83 miles an hour for strike one. Pinson now working faster as the 2-1's on the way. On the ground, Day scoops it, slips a little bit on the grass, but the toss over to Darby is in time for the first out of the inning.
And that can be a tough place when you're shifted like that, backed up into the shallow outfield for Brady Day. He wanted to charge in and field that ball in the dirt, but ended up just about a step in the outfield, and sometimes you can get caught on those where the ball will hit a lip in the grass when it gets to the outfield and skip up on you, and Day was a little bit shaky there but made that play.
Pinson already into the motion for the first pitch to Brock Wills, which falls outside for ball one. Wills plays at UNCW, Wilmington, North Carolina. So the 1-0 bounces in the dirt. Finished up his freshman year in 2023. He was a Conference All-America All-Rookie Team selection. Two and 0 with one gone. Cotuit leads 1-0 as the pitch sails above the shoulders. It's 3-0. YD now facing an early deficit that Cotuit can only add to for a team that the bats have been quiet, but the 3-0 is right down the heart of the zone as Pinson isn't going to let Wills get away with an easy one. 3-1. Wills, the lefty, set in the box. The pitch is fouled off his foot, and the count runs full. Nice one from Pinson. Got some spin inside at the last second, and Wills couldn't square it away. Pinson kicks and deals, swung on and missed. Foul tip caught by Stafford, and that's out number 2. Another strikeout for Smith. Pinson comes in a really important spot after battling back from a 3-0 count.
Yeah, it was a good comeback. Pinson has been behind in some counts today, but it's a good job to get back to it and earn the strikeout.
Jacob Tobias up for his first time in the 7th spot. First pitch from Pinson, grounded up the middle, right back into Pinson's glove. Nonchalant tosses it over to Xander Darby, and that retires the side. Off one bounce, Smith Pinson plays hero, but Cotuit strikes first. They lead 1-0 on the solo shot from Grant Norris, and we head to the top of the 3rd at Lowell Park. Xander Darby, the 7-hitter for YD at the top of the 3rd. YD has been retired in order through this point. And Kiesel throws the first pitch fastball, but it misses outside for ball 1. Darby holds off. Hunter Hines has been the only YD batter to swing away and miss at the first strike as Xander Darby swings away here, and it's 1-1. Darby, the gaucho out of UC Santa Barbara. In the lefty box, the 1-1. Below the knees, Lomavita can't frame it up. It's 2-1. YD has seen some soft contact. Only one has been even pushed to the outfield, and it was shallow. Jansen Kiesel has been making a miss all around the zone as he pitches, and it's lined up the first base line, but foul, unfortunately, for Xander Darby, as that would have spelled extra bases, definitely, maybe even 3 the way that ball was hit. Instead, the count's even at 2-2. Darby set back in the box in the royal blue accessories. The pitch on the way misses inside, and it's 3-2. I thought that had a chance at another backwards K. Darby wiggling the black and tan bat. Kiesel set. Now the payoff. Falls inside, and it's the first walk of the day. First base runner for YD as Darby jogs down the line over to give Coach Cam Trudel a fist bump at first base.
I really like this part of the lineup that YD's got going with their 7, 8, 9 today. Darby, Jackson, and Apodaca. I think it gives you some nice contact towards the bottom part of your lineup, which sometimes you don't see. Almost a rally starter to turn things over to the top of the order.
It's Ryan Jackson out of USC. As the pickoff to first is fruitless. Jackson came out swinging his first couple of games and has cooled off since, but he had a hit a few nights ago in YD's loss. First pitch to him falls inside on the breaking ball, just 80 miles an hour for strike one. Jackson has 3 hits, batting .214. He's only been on the YD roster for about 4 or 5 games now. Kiesel, another pickoff towards first, trying to keep Darby at bay. Xander Darby has not been the most successful Red Sox in the base paths this season, but he's gotten lucky a couple of times. He's not the speediest, so it takes a little extra help from either a pitch or the catcher behind the plate as the 0-1 is popped up, absolutely skied into shallow right field. Coming over is Petrie from second base. He's underneath it, and Darby's held up at first as Ryan Jackson is retired. First time at the plate for Enzo Apodaca, the right fielder out of Gonzaga, but he's currently in the transfer portal, still awaiting news on where he'll end up for the 2024 season. A bit of a shorter stature compared to the rest of the YD lineup, has a lot of really tall guys over 6 feet, but Apodaca hovering around 5'9", 5'10". First pitch above the shoulders for ball 1. Apodaca's been really solid defensively out in the field. He's made some diving plays. He was very, very busy at the beginning part of the season. We haven't seen him in the lineup as much as of late. But it's his second game in a row in the outfield as the 1-0 is pushed foul. Darby bluffed over at first. The count runs 1-1. One gone with a runner on first in the top of the third. The pitch on the way is inside. It's 2-1. Apodaca, as a freshman at Gonzaga, was an All-West Coast Conference honorable mention and a member of the all-freshman team. 2023, he fell off slightly, but still had a good year, batted .281. Another pickoff towards first, and the tag is unsuccessful. Count remains 2-1. Apodaca, a black and tan bat, navy blue and red gloves with the Nike swoosh. The kick and deals. And it's a hit and run. Xander Darby is thrown out by a mile. Apodaca just swung lazily across the plate at the last second to try to give Darby a chance at it, but he is beat effortlessly from Loma Vita, and that's out number 2. The base paths are cleared. Apodaca sneaks it through a gap into right field just one pitch after, and it's the first hit of the game for YD, so he replaces Xander Darby at first base, and YD will not be no hit today. That turns over the order to Theo Hardy.
Remember back to YD's first time here. It took them a little while to get their first hit. Good that they've exercised those demons a little bit earlier in the game here in the third.
Hardy back in the lefty box, was rung up his first time around, was noticeably anxious to swing, and he holds off on a first pitch ball. He actually swung once in his first at-bat. It was a foul ball up the first base line. Other than that, he held off. To his demise. 1-0, the pickoff towards first gets past, and Apodaca will take second. As the ball gets out of play, he's sprinting, he rounds second, and he's heading to third, but he's held up by Coach Pickler. I think he really might have made it. Coach Pickler gives him the thumbs up. The ball bounced into Mathis at third.
Yeah, it went so far, I think, up that first base side that might have had to relay it to third if he wanted to get it there in the air. Like you said, with it rolling in, he might have had third, but just try to draw a throw there and see if anything chaotic happens.
Apodaca with a big lead at second. The 1-0 swung on and missed. First error of the day goes on the back of Jansen Kiesel. And it's lined into right field. Apodaca is rounding second. He's heading towards home. The ball is bobbled by Banks in right field. Apodaca comes across, and YD has tied it up in the top of the third after 2 hits back-to-back. One from Apodaca and one from Theo Hardy, his first hit in a Red Sox uniform. Also goes for his first run batted in.
Yeah, just a strong piece of hitting from him there. Got solid contact on it and sent it out to left. Tie the game up, and YD, good to see their offense clicking here a little bit earlier.
The RBI single, Hardy goes and is in there safely. Pitre thought he had the tag, and he did make a nice tag, but the call did not go his way. Hardy advances on the first pitch of the at-bat to Vieira.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's just really nice heads-up base running. That ball barely got away from Loma Vida, and he took the bag.
Hardy making his presence known his first day here. The 1-0 to Vieira is chopped foul up the third baseline, sails over the head of Coach Pickler. Hardy takes his lead, nobody over there. The 1-1 ripped into center field, but underneath it is Carter Matheson. He makes the grab straight away center. Vieira, good contact, can't find any grasp, but YD ties it up, and we are at 1-1, heading to the bottom of the third at Loa Park. James McCoy leading off for the Kettleers after YD tied it up in the top of the third. Pinson back on the mound. In the motion for the first pitch, a curveball drops in at the top of the zone. Nice vertical movement from Pinson for strike one. McCoy is 0 for 2 versus YD as a whole as he takes strike 2. Movement in the shoulders but didn't come around. He has walked twice in 4 total plate appearances, so not a bad outing against the Red Sox. Faces the 0-2 on the way. Falls away from the plate. And it's 1-2. YD infield evenly spaced, backed up to the grass. Shifted slightly right as the 1-2 drops in at the knees. It's 2-2. A nice pitch from Pinson, definitely the strikeout pitch, but McCoy did not bite. Pinson hiding the face, set. Now into the motion, the 2-2 swung on and missed, and another strikeout. Starts things off in the third. Pinson settling in nicely, and it's 1 up, 1 down so far. And the bottom of the lineup for Cotuit coming up with Teo Banks.
Yeah, you mentioned that he is settling in well, and he kept his pitch count pretty low, given that he's only given up the 1 hit so far. So he's still got, I'd imagine, plenty of gas in the tank to mosey through the middle part of this game.
Fresh count for Teo Banks, and the first pitch on the ground. Diving stop from Jackson. He pops back up, not in time to make the throw, so Banks likes it out. But a nice defensive play regardless from Ryan Jackson. He couldn't secure the ball in the glove as he was popping up back to his feet, slowed down a bit. But the diving stop was majestic, certainly.
Yeah, I think he also might have slipped a little bit on his way back to his feet, but that was a very nice dive to look at.
Would have been a really tough throw regardless. Top of the lineup with Carter Matheson. The first pitch to him drops in. Runner goes, and the throw sails high as Banks slides in head first to evade the tag. Stafford, and I don't think any of us were ready for Banks to go. He took a bit of a late jump, but evades the throw from Stafford, which was off target.
Yeah, he forced Stafford to throw from his knees there, and that was why it was a little high.
Counts 1-0 to Matheson. The brown and tan bat. Parallel with the ground. Now back, and it's ripped into right field. That's a base hit on the ground, motoring around Banks. The throw to home is not in time, and it's an RBI single from Carter Matheson. Banks had no hesitation coming around third. Both of these teams being really aggressive in the base paths early here today, and it pays off. Cotuit now leads once again. It's 2-1. They've strung together 2 hits in a row here. Now let's see what Cole Mathis can do. First pitch, the curve drops in, and it's poked foul by Mathis for strike 1. Pinson taking his time again with runners on. He's a lot slower off the bump. The 0-1 on the ground towards short. Scoop by Jackson. The out at second and the out at first are both in time. The throw from Day was slightly low, but Darby flips his glove, makes the grab. The second double play to end the inning of the day, but not before Cotuit adds another off 2 hits in the side. We head to the top of the 4th. It's Perri, Kitei, and Poley on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Top of the 4th inning here from Cotuit at Lowell Park. Luke Poley with Perri Kitei alongside. Hunter Hines leads off for the Red Sox. Cotuit leading YD 2-1. Teams exchanged runs in the 3rd inning. The solo shot in the 2nd brought Cotuit out in front. to start this one off. The first pitch from Kiesel is swung on and missed for strike one by Hunter Hines. Went down looking his first time up. Kiesel struck out the side in the first, has yet to record a strikeout since. 0-1, the wind and pitch. Rolled over foul on the right side. And it's 0-2 to Hunter. Average at 277. It's hovered around that 280 range pretty much all season. 9 home runs, still 30 RBIs for Hines. 0-2 pitch. Drops just low, 1-2. It's been a little while by Hines standards since he's collected an RBI. It's been a couple of games. 1 ball and 2 strikes, righty on lefty. Long hold, now the wind and the pitch. Fastball outside, 2-2. 94 miles an hour from Kiesel on that one. He's been between 91 to 96 with his fastball. Throws a breaking ball in the 80s. It's fluctuated between 81 to 88. 2-2. Breaking ball away. That time it was 81 miles an hour. He loses the hat, and the count is full. 2-1 score. Cotuit out in front. Bases empty and nobody out. The leadoff man, Hunter Hines, at the plate with the gray bat in hand. From the belt, kick and payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Brought the heat, and Hines was underneath it. He goes down on strikes for his second time. 4th overall for Jansen Kiesel, and there's 1 gone here in the 4th. Ryan Stafford gets his second at bat. He flew out to center field his first time up. 2-1 game, Cotuit out in front. First pitch to the righty. Slides onto the corner for strike 1 on the outside. 83 miles an hour. Stafford twirls the bat with the white arm sleeve on the right arm. The 0-1 pitch spiked low on the fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. That one kissed the dirt. Stafford, 5'10", 175-pound junior out of Cal Poly. Sees the 1-1. And he holds in a pitch down low. 2 balls and a strike. Last played on June 22nd. Got 1 plate appearance off the bench against Wareham in a 6-5 win. He walked in that plate appearance. Ahead in the count, 2-1. The pitch. Chopper over to short, stepping back on it. Norris has it in the glove and throws on to first. A squeeze by Tobias with the stretch in time for out number 2. Two gone now for Brady Day. Base is still empty in a 2-1 game led by Cotuit. YD had both of their hits come in the last inning from Enzo Apodaca and Theo Hardy. They're 9-1 hitters. Day is 0 for 1 with a ground out to short. Righty on lefty. The first pitch comes home. Hide the letters for ball 1. 94 miles an hour. The fastball from Kiesel. Day corks the bat back. 1-0 pitch. Misses off the outside corner. 2 balls, no strikes. Day, the highest draft pick on this YD team from this season. 2-0 pitch. Swinging a nubber over the mound, charging in from short. Norris has to barehand it, and he fumbles and drops it. And Day will reach first safely.
If Norris pulled off that backhand, I would have only been able to clap for him. That would have been an unbelievable play, but he can't get it done. It bounced right over the head of Kiesel. The whole infield came charging in on it, but Day just beat it out. There was no play eventually. Nice work from Brady Day.
Infield was positioned pretty deep, a long way to go. That time for Grant Norris. Runner on first with 2 gone for Paxton Kling. And a pickoff move. Brady Day scampers back to first base standing up. Cotuit still leading 2-1 over YD. Hits now even at 3 aside. Hanging the right arm. Kiesel has to come out of the stretch for the second straight inning. First pitch to Kling on the way. Breaking ball falls into the top of the zone for strike 1. Kling was on the back end of a 1-2-3 inning in the second, and his only at bat. He popped out to second base in the shallow outfield. No balls and a strike to the LSU Tiger. From the belt, the pitch lifted in the air right side. This ball gets out of play and into the woods, and it's 0-2. Kling will step out, take a look at Scott Pickler at third. Hands on the hips for the YD skipper. A look over at first. Kiesel set with his front foot offset towards third. He comes homeward with the 0-2. This one hit well out towards center field, but right at Carter Matheson, not even moving. He reaches up and makes the catch, and the side is retired. So YD gets a 2-out hit from Brady Day, a ball that stayed in the infield, but they can't push him past first base, and they still trail by 1. 2-1 Cotuit. We head to the bottom of the fourth when we come back. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Last of the fourth here from Lowell Park. Luke Poley with Perri Kitei, 2-1 game. Cotuit leading YD. Kettleers will bring their 3-4-5 hitters to the plate. The catcher, Caleb Lomavita, leads off. He grounded into a double play back in the first inning and is only at bat so far. Righty on righty from the wine. The first pitch home is a breaking ball pushed into right field. Racing back on it, Apodaca at the warning track. Reaches up and it's over his head. Off the wall, motoring around second and now putting the brakes on. Lomavita slides in back to the bag with a leadoff double. Second ball we've seen hit out to the deep outfield that has seen some panicked movement from a YD outfielder. This time it was Enzo Apodaca who had that ball get over his head. Runner on second with nobody out for Grant Norris, the home run hitter from back in the second inning. Gave Cotuit their first lead. YD tied it at 1 before the Kets responded in the bottom of the last inning with a run to make it a 2-1 game where we stand now. From the stretch, Pinson winds and deals. Breaking ball low for ball 1 at 74 miles an hour. Norris, the Penn State Nittany Lion, hit his second home run of the year. Solo shot. He's got 7 driven in this season. He can add to that total with a man in scoring position. Couple looks at second from Pinson, the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball low at 70 miles an hour, 2-0. Pinson has been YD's ace starting pitcher. He was slated to get the start yesterday in the postponed game against the Brewster Whitecaps that'll be played on Tuesday, YD's scheduled off day. The 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss. Pulled the string on the breaking ball a little quicker that time. It's 77 miles an hour, but got the swing and miss with Norris out in front, and it's 2 balls and a strike. YD currently backed up a couple of games from rainouts, one against Brewster from this past week and one against Orleans. 2-1 pitch. Into the bottom of the zone for strike 2. Another breaking ball at 79 miles an hour for Pinson, and the count is even. This will be 45 pitches for Pinson after this 2-2. 26 of them so far have gone for strikes. Long look in, and he will step off and pump over to second. Use his disengagement. Pinson resets, eyeing in on his battery mate, Ryan Stafford. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit on the ground over the left side. That's in the left field for a base hit. Stop sign put up at third for Lomavita. He will halt there. But Norris has his second hit of the game, and they are on the corners with nobody out for Emilian Petrie.
And it's times like this where you can see why Cotuit has just blown the competition out of the water in the season. For the Cape Cod Baseball League, they have put up such great contact hitting, and when they hit the ball, they hit it hard no matter where it's going, out of the park, to the fence, or simply on the ground. It gives the infield such little time to react that so many of these sneak through for just single base hits.
They're on the corners with nobody out. Petrie trying to add on to a 2-1 Cotuit lead. First pitch to the lefty from Kentucky. He takes down low for ball 1. Kettleers currently hold a 4.5-game lead over second place in the West Division in the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, who are 16-12-1. Kettleers stand 9 points up on second. 1-0. This ball is crushed out towards right center field. Backtracking on it, Kling. At the warning track, he's underneath it and makes the catch. Runner tagging from third. Norris back to first, but Loma Vida scores standing up. And Cotuit adds on to their lead. It's 3-1 Kettleers in the bottom of the fourth. Fifth RBI of the season for Petrie. And now a runner on first with one gun. Brock Wills striding up to the plate. He struck out swinging against Smith Pinson back in inning number 2. Low stance for the lefty, carrying a red bat. First pitch on the way. Comes in near his knees for ball 1. Wills out of UNC Wilmington. One of a couple of Seahawks that are on this roster. Third base is in on the grass. That's Theo Hardy for YD, the 1-0. Grounded over first base side, picked up by Xander Darby. He goes to second for one. The throw back to Pinson is in time. It's a 3-6-1 double play, and that ends the inning. Cotuit, though, gets a pair of hits from Caleb Loma Vida and Grant Norris, and the Kettleers strike again for the third straight inning. It's now 3-1 Cotuit, headed to the fifth. YD will bring the bottom three to the order when we come back. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. The 2023 Cape Cod Baseball League All-Star Game presented by Milton Cat will be held at White House Field, home of the Harwich Mariners, on Saturday, July 22nd at 6 p.m. Tickets can be purchased at CapeCodBaseballStore.com. All-Star teams coming out in the coming days with the All-Star Game slated for a week from today in Harwich. New pitcher takes the bump. It's 3-1 Cotuit, top half of the fifth inning. It's Aiden Hunter making his second appearance of the year. In relief of Jansen Kiesel, Xander Darby at the plate for YD. The first pitch, chopper over the mound, coming over from second. Petrie around it, sidearms to first. It pulls his first baseman away from the bag, but he kept his foot on for long enough. And Darby is out at first base. One gone for Ryan Jackson, who popped out to second base his first time up. Aiden Hunter out of Hanahan, South Carolina, 6'4", 210-pound junior, right-hander from the College of Charleston. First pitch to Jackson, tugged outside for ball 1. July 13th, the only appearance just 2 days ago. 2 innings worked by Hunter out of the bullpen against Wareham. 1-0 pitch is grounded, left side, long run over from Norris, and it's off his glove and trickling into the outfield. Imagine that'll be a base hit for Jackson, as he stands over on first base, but now the tying run comes to the plate in the top of the 5th for YD, trailing 3-1. Enzo Apodaca is 1 for 1. That will be a base hit for Ryan Jackson. He's now 1 for 2 on the day. Just the second hit allowed this season by Aiden Hunter, and it doesn't leave the infield. First pitch to the lefty, Apodaca. Breaks right over the heart of the plate for strike 1, 89 miles an hour. That win over Wareham was an 18-0 victory for Cotuit. Really just an embodiment of what the Kettleers have done to the rest of the Cape League this year. 0-1 pitch. Strike 2 called in the bottom part of the zone, and it's 0-2. Worked 2 innings, scoreless, 1 hit, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts for Hunter. In dominant victory, part of a 7-game streak, the 6th game of that streak that the Kettleers bring in. 0-2. Just misses off the plate. Tough hold and a 2-strike count, but Apodaca lives to fight another day. Runner on first with 1 out in the top of the 5th inning. Cotuit out hitting YD 5-4, leading 3-1. Working from the first base side of the rubber. Set and the deal. Pitches outside, 2-2. Hunter working relatively quickly here for Cotuit. Apodaca's got the count even at 2 apiece. Ryan Jackson on first base. Look back at him from Hunter. Eyes glued to the ground. He looks up and fires. Check swing. Pitch slides in the dirt. Appeal out to the base umpire. Says Apodaca held up. And the count is full.
I'm not surprised to see Hunter come in here at the top of the 5th. We know that Cotuit is a team that goes to their bullpen a lot. I expect we'll see minimum 4, maybe even 5 pitchers today.
Runner goes, 3-2, grounded first base side, and just foul. Tobias tried his best to field that ball in fair territory, but first base umpire says that ball just escaped the line, and we'll do it again at 3-2. Mike Roberts has used his bullpen in full force against YD this season. I think most notably to when he used 3 pitchers just to get through the 9th inning and snuff out a YD rally the last time these two teams met at Lowell Park in the Kets' victory. 3-2 to Apodaca. Runner goes again. Pitch is swung on and missed. Throw down is in plenty of time, and the tag is applied. It's a strike him out, throw him out, and that retires the side. Aiden Hunter faces the minimum in the 5th. We're halfway home from Lowell Park. It's 3-1 Kettleers here on the Cape League Broadcast Network. 3-1 Cotuit, bottom of the 5th here from Lowell Park. Luke West Poley, Perri Kitei, our entire great crew with you here on this Saturday evening from Cotuit, Massachusetts. Beautiful ballpark they've got here for the league-leading Kettleers. Tobias, the batter, to lead off. The first pitch to him on the way. And Jacob flares it foul out of play on the left side. 0-1 to him. Cotuit leading 3-1. They've scored a run in each of the last 3 innings. YD got their run back in the 3rd. Cotuit out hitting the Red Sox 5-4. Pinson winds, lifts the knee and deals. This ball driven out towards center. Paxton Kling going back in now, making his way over towards left center. He'll reach it up and make the catch. And there's 1 out.
That ball certainly had enough juice to get out of here, but Tobias was just a little too far underneath it, and it was skied too high. Kling read it nicely and barely took a couple of steps to make the grab.
Center field is pretty large out here in Cotuit. It's 397 to straightaway. Nobody on and 1 out for James McCoy, the first pitch. Swing and a miss, 88 miles an hour that he cuts through for strike 1. He was a strikeout swinging victim back in the 3rd inning. Sun has peeked through the otherwise cloudy skies here in Cotuit. The 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball in on the elbow, nearly hit him. He turns away from it and takes ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. McCoy out of Kentucky, one of a couple Wildcats in the batting lineup. The 1-1 pitch. Holds off on a called strike in the outer corner, and it's 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes. Pinson twirls the ball with the bases empty and 1 away. Choke up on the bat from McCoy. The deal. Cracked foul and out of play on the left side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. McCoy standing up in the box. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a drive out towards left field, backing up on it. Max Vieira at the warning track makes the catch. That's the 2nd out. Another ball that carried well to the opposite field for McCoy, but it's back-to-back flyouts for Cotuit to begin the inning. Bases empty and 2 out for T.O. Banks, a left fielder who is 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored.
There is a slight wind blowing out, but dying down. It's very intermittent. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even get that word out.
First pitch on the way to Banks. Breaks outside for ball 1. Rained pretty hard pregame, about hour and a half or so for about 20 minutes. Had to since cease, but the air a little bit thick as the 1-0 comes in. Breaking ball is clashed out towards deep left field, going back on it, Vieira, and that ball is just foul over the fence. Another one we've seen hit over there. That's the 2nd time a ball has gotten over the yellow out there and left, but both times have been foul, and Banks will return to a 1-1 count.
I think that's the first put-out Max Vieira's actually had in the outfield. This is the 2nd time we're seeing him out there. He's played center field once before, but making that catch in left field certainly feels foreign to say Max Vieira out there makes the grab.
Shortstop by trade, the 1-1 pitch. Twirled out of play behind home, and it's 1-2. Normal shortstop spot occupied by Ryan Jackson. An abundance of infielders on this YD roster, but not as many in the outfield. Only 3 of them that are actually listed as outfielders. Apodaca, Jenkins, Coward, and Klink. The 1-2 fought off foul. Do it again at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Smith Pinson trying to work his way through a 5th inning. 3 runs ties the most he's given up in any outing all season long. 2.7 ERA for the Kennesaw State righty on the year coming into this one. It's been YD's most solid arm. 1-2 offering on the way. Just down low. Stafford slides over to it. Banks checked his swing, and the count is even. YD's got 3 on the left side of the infield to the right-handed pull hitter, T.O. Banks. 3-1 Cotuit. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with the bases empty. Pinson with the glove over the face, shakes 1. Nods at the 2nd, straight into the windup. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. It'll require a throw to first from Stafford. He makes his way to his left and fires on to Xander Darby, who's got it in time, and that ends the inning. Smith-Pinson works a 1-2-3, including a strikeout here in the fifth. YD offense still, though, with work to do, trailing by 2. The sixth inning on the way. When we come back, you're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. (3-1) Kettleers in the top of the sixth inning here from Lowell Park in Cotuit, Massachusetts. Leadoff hitter for YD is the top of the order, Theo Hardy, the first pitch in. Breaking ball low for ball 1. Aiden Hunter returns to the mound for his second inning of work. Went 2 innings in his debut a couple of nights ago for Cotuit. 1-0 pitch on the way. Upstairs, Hardy holds off. 89 miles an hour on the gun, and it's 2-0. Hardy collected his first hit, first RBI as a member of the Red Sox in his debut in the last at-bat. The 2-0 is rolled foul, and it's 2-1. Hardy with a bit of a breath out and a slap on the leg there, was frustrated with that swing. 2 balls and 1 strike, and time called. Looks like they have to go retrieve that ball over on the right side. Hardy rocking the no batting glove look in the lefty box. 2-1 pitch. High and away for ball 3. Hunter struggled with walks a little bit in his debut, had 3 of them in 2 innings. Did not walk a batter, but did give up a base hit. Got a double play to get out of the last inning. 3-1, ball 4. High and away, and Hardy sprints over to first base. Leadoff man for YD is on for just the second time all game. And both times it has come via the walk. Each walk issued by Cotuit pitching has come to the leadoff hitter. Max Vieira now at the plate, trying to snap an 0 for 2 day with a runner on first and nobody out. Cotuit leading by a pair here in the top of the 6th. Hunter from the stretch. Pitch on the way. Breaks on the inner corner for strike 1. A little above the belt there. No balls and a strike to Max Vieira. So strike him out, throw him out the last inning. That was what ended it for Aiden Hunter. Small lead on first as the pitch comes in. Called strike 2 on the outer half. No balls, 2 strikes to Max Vieira. Theo Hardy not tremendous steal threat. Only had a few of them during his college season at San Jose State with the Spartans. 3 for 4. 0-2 pitch. Pushed up the right side and just foul right of the line. Still 0-2.
Caleb Lomavita has been great behind the plate today. He's thrown out 2. He's kept the ball in front. He was an All Pac-12 honorable mention this year over at Cal Berkeley.
0-2 to Vieira. Swinging a chopper left side and foul. Side spin takes it left of the line, and we'll do it again at 0-2. Base paths have been active today for each team. For YD, it hasn't worked out as well as has for Cotuit. Couple of caught stealings in this game for Lomavita. Hardy swinging the arms at first. 0-2 pitch. Breaks just away. 1-2. Close take there for Vieira. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Still nobody out. Cotuit 3 YD1 in the 6th. Pitch to Vieira on the way. Fastball for strike 3. Got him on the corner. Second strikeout for Aiden Hunter, and Max Vieira nods as he heads back to the dugout. 1 gone for Hunter Hines.
That was already 1 tough hold that went Vieira's way, but holding off on 2 pitches that close to the zone, just not going to work out for you in the end. We've seen a lot of strikeouts looking from Cotuit pitching today. They've been really accurate.
First pitch to Hines is low for ball 1. Hunter has struck out twice. Once looking in the first, once swinging in the 4th. Runner on first, 1 away. Front foot offset towards third by Hunter. Takes a breath and fires. And the pitch is high at shoulder height. 2 balls, no strikes. Hines ahead in the count. He's hit a home run already this season here at Lowell Park. First time the Red Sox were here. 2-0 pitch. Sinks low for ball 3. 84 miles an hour. And Hunter may be pitching around Whitey's biggest power threat in the lineup here, and Hunter Hines at 3-0. Hines, a guy who has had the green light to swing in 3-0 counts this season. Pitch comes in. He takes a strike over the outer corner. 3-1 to Hunter Hines. Walked twice yesterday, but was hitless 0 for 2. One of them intentional. 3-1 pitch. Outside ball 4. 2 walks dealt out by Aiden Hunter in the inning. Puts perhaps YD's best scoring threat of the game on base with runners on first and second. Ryan Stafford is at the plate. He is 0 for 2. Tying run aboard with YD trailing 3-1. First and second, 1 out. First pitch of the righty. Comes inside for ball 1. Stafford looking over at third base. Over from third. Cole Mathis is over to talk to his pitcher, and now Mike Roberts has come out of the Cotuit dugout. Veteran manager will make his way out to the bump. Looking down towards the bullpen. There's a righty throwing. Hasn't pointed there just yet, but the infield will meet for the Kettleers.
That's Cam Schulke out there in the bullpen. The 6-foot right-hander out of Dorr, Michigan. He's played all over the place at FGCU, Northwood University in Michigan, College of Central Florida, and is committed to Mississippi State, which is actually where Hunter Hines plays, who's standing aboard first base.
Look back to the dugout from Roberts, one of his assistant coaches, who flashes the thumbs up. Looked like the call of the bullpen was made, and now the pitcher will walk down towards the fence, and we will see a new arm come to the mound for the Kettleers. Whitey's got first and second with 1 out, a 1-0 count to Ryan Stafford, who looks to try and tie up this game, potentially give the Red Sox the lead. That when we come back against a new pitcher. 3-1 Kettleers in the top of the 6th. You're listening to Red Sox baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. First and second with one out in the top of the sixth inning. Cotuit leading YD 3-1. Ryan Stafford making his way back in on a 1-0 count to a new pitcher, Cam Schulke, the true submariner righty, committed to Mississippi State. Comes in to face off against Stafford. 1-0. Breaks in there for strike one at 68 miles an hour from the submarine arm slot. Schulke's thrown 15 2/3 innings this year with a whopping 25 strikeouts in that span for Cotuit. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball lifted behind home. Might be playable, but just giving it a look and watching it out of play, Loma Vida will not have a chance at it. Ball and 2 strikes. Schulke from the College of Central Florida. 6 foot, 195 pounder. Those big strikeout numbers, though, likely coming due to the fact that he's a submariner. The 1-2, he comes overhand that time, and it's fouled off. Interesting. One ball and 2 strikes. Have a extended delay as that ball went all the way up the line, and they'll have to go retrieve it. Schulke has come in a lot of games, variety of roles. He's thrown against YD already once this year back on June 11th, second game of the season. Didn't record an out. YD hit him up good. Scored 4 runs on him. Ball and 2 strikes to Stafford with first and second and 1 out. The pitch outside and a check swing from Stafford. He takes ball 2. Another one thrown overhand there by Schulke. Set from the stretch, third base coming in. That's Mathis for Cotuit. The 2-2 pitch pushed out of play on the right side. He came submarine that time, and Stafford was ready to at least get a bat on it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch low the whole way. Nice stop by Loma Vida, who will get up and check the runners, neither of which in a hurry to move. Count is full.
Stafford waiting on the 8th pitch of this at-bat. He's made it a long one with 2 pitchers now.
Break in between after he saw that first offering. Here comes the payoff pitch. Bunch of looks at second base. Now it comes in submarine. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Had him out in front of the breaking ball at 68 miles an hour. First strikeout for Cam Schulke, and now Brady Day will try to at least salvage something for YD in this inning. First and second with 2 outs. Red Sox still trailing 3-1. Day 1 for 2, the first pitch. Outside, rising for ball 1. Ball and no strikes. Day with his single his last time at the plate. 1-0 pitch. Finds the bottom of the zone. 67 miles an hour for strike 1. Day waiting on that back foot. Ball and a strike. A look over at a vacant third base by Schulke. Now at second. He deals. And that's in there for strike 2 on the bottom inside corner. Day moved his hands, but no real effort to swing there. Ball and 2 strikes. Schulke tries to pitch his way out of this jam created by the previous pitcher, Aiden Hunter, for Cotuit. 1-2. Overhand, and it's down low. Day with a check swing, and he held on a ball that bounced in the other batter's box. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Schulke fires, and that's low for ball 3. The submarine breaking ball, 69 miles an hour, and the count is full. Runners will be off with the pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. First and second for Brady Day. The pitch. High in the zone, he hits it anyway, deep out to center field, but Matheson underneath it in front of the 397 sign. He makes the catch, and that retires the top of the 6th. Schulke ends the scoring threat, and the Red Sox still have 1 to show for the offensive performance thus far, but it's not enough. They trail by 2, headed to the bottom of the 6th inning. That's when we come back. You're listening to YD Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Last of the 6th here from Cotuit, Lowell Park. Luke West Poley with Perri Kitei, the league-leading Cotuit Kettleers, leading the YD Red Sox 3-1. Smith Pinson returning to the mound for his 6th inning of work for the Red Sox. He's been a guy that could go pretty deep in games by summer ball standards this year. Leadoff hitter is Carter Matheson, and the first pitch is slammed up the middle. Coming in on it, it drops in front of Paxton Kling for a base hit. It's like Kling might have a play on it, but that ball died in shallow center. And there was nothing the center fielder for YD could do about that one. The leadoff man aboard for the Kettleers. And now Cole Matheson to the plate, trying to add on to a 3-1 Cotuit lead with a runner on first and nobody out.
Matheson is now 2 for 2 with a walk. He's been on board all 3 times he's been at the plate.
The first pitch bounces in for ball 1. Stafford with the block. No balls and a strike to Mathis. Matheson followed by Mathis in the order. College of Charleston Cougar, Cole Mathis, 327 hitter here on Cape this season. 1-1 pitch, or 1-0 pitch rather, drops down low, ball 2. And it's 2 balls, no strikes. Pinson so far has issued only 1 walk. He immediately erased it by getting a double play. That was all the way back in the first inning. Small lead on first from Matheson. The pitch from Pinson. Right down the chute for strike 1. Mathis is 0 for 2 today. A fly out to center and a ground out into a double play. Smith Pinson has induced 3 twin killings so far. He'll pick off to first, and the very small lead makes it easy to get back for Carter Matheson. 2 balls, 1 strike to Mathis. Pinson with his glove on his left shoulder now comes set. And again snaps over to first. And Matheson is back in time. YD trying to avoid 3rd straight loss for the first time all season. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball is crushed out to left field. Vieira back on it and at the warning track camped. He makes the catch. Guns it back into the infield. It comes in on a 1-hop to Brady Day as Carter Matheson goes back to first base, allowed out for Cole Mathis. 1 away for Caleb Lomavita. Lomavita's got some Cal fans in attendance. He's 1 for 2, or 2 for 2, I should say. This pitch comes on the way. And it's in there for strike 1. He is actually 1 for 2. I was looking in the wrong spot. Double his last time up. That came to lead off the 4th. He came around to score Cotuit's 3rd run. That's their final run to this point of the game as they lead 3-1. Runner on first, 1 gone. The 0-1 pitch clips the corner for strike 2. Pinson about to throw his 70th pitch of the game through 5 1/3 innings. 0-2, runner bluffs, back pick to first, and it sails over the head of Xander Darby into right field. Matheson running over to second. He will take a step or two around it, but return to the base. And E2 moves him up 90 feet into scoring position, and now it's a ball and 2 strikes to Caleb Lomavita.
Unfortunate error for Ryan Stafford, and it's very out of character for someone who is one of the best collegiate catchers in the country, clearly good enough to make Team USA, be a starter for them. He started their very first game on their collegiate tour, so that is not something that you see regularly out of the guy behind the plate.
Comes the 1-2 to Lomavita. Stabbed high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. To the Cotuit backstop. With the brown bat, can hear the snapping of a glove on the right side. Means there's action in the YD bullpen. Pinson sets at the shoulders, drops to the belt. 2-2. Delayed by a pickoff. Would have been close. Instead, it's off the back of Matheson and into center field. Kling jogging over to it as Matheson sliding back. Didn't have time to get to his feet and make a run towards third, so he'll stay put on second.
Another dangerous moment for YD, who has kind of been all over the place now throwing.
Pinson might have been able to have Matheson there, but the throw was not handled by Brady Day. 2-2. Bounces in, chested down by Stafford. He runs it up the first base line and bare hands. The runner holds on second, and the count is full to Lomavita. Don't want things to snowball here for YD. There's a man in scoring position with 1 out. Cotuit trying to add on to a 3-1 lead. Some mistakes for the Red Sox in this inning. Pinson looks at second and deals. Reacher lifted out towards left field. Vieira coming over on it, and he makes the catch. Throw behind the runner at second is a seed, and Day got him. Wow. The secondary lead from Matheson was too large, and how's that for your second game in the outfield? Max Vieira doubles the runner off at second base, and that ends the inning. So Smith Pinson faces the minimum. It's a 7-4 putout to retire the side, and it stays 3-1 as we head to the 7th. Exciting time. See if YD can feed off the energy with the middle of the order coming up. We'll see when we come back. You're listening to Red Sox Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Top of the 7th, things are absolutely flying by. Just an hour and a half of game time here as Paxton Kling sacks back to the plate. First pitch on the way from Schulke falls into the lefty batter's box. Schulke, the summer-reener, back on the mound for his second inning, came in a third of the way through the last one. Now set into the pitch. Kling holds off on the 1-0 and it clips the bottom of the zone for strike one. Paxton Kling out of LSU wears the long pants tucked over his cleats. Wiggling the bat. The 1-1 floats at the bottom of the zone, 68 miles an hour, and Kling falls behind in the count. Xander Darby on deck. Kling has a home run on the season. Just a couple of hits on top of that. The 1-2 foul tipped into the glove, and Loma Vida squeezes it. And Kling is retired on 4 pitches. Brings up Xander Darby, the first baseman today. First time we're saying that. First base has largely been rotating between Dub Gleed and Hunter Hines, but Darby over the 0-1 drops just low, and a good hold from Jackson evens up the count 1-1. The shortstop out of the University of Southern California. The pitch popped up towards shallow outfield. Coming in is Matheson in center. Again, the ball floats further than it looks off the bat, and Matheson barely has to jog to get underneath it. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 7th. Cotuit continues to roll, and we head to the stretch at Lowell Park. You're listening to I Do Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Max Banks on the mound for YD, an interesting choice in what is still a close game. Banks has not been the best pitcher out of the bullpen for YD this season. He pitches at Chapman University, a D3 powerhouse. And the first pitch is on the way high for Grant Norris, who's 2 for 2 with a home run and an RBI single. It's a righty on righty matchup. Banks a deep breath. And ball 2 drops away in the lefty box, bouncing in the dirt. Darby pinched in on the corner over at first base, the middle infield. Moved over towards second. Counts 2-0 to Norris. Banks fires. And it's popped up foul and out of play behind our heads. Banks shakes off a couple from Stafford. Now nods. Moving the ball around in his tan glove. The kick and deal ripped into center field. Sprinting back. Paxton Kling. And it drops at the fence. Over the fence. I didn't think it cleared, but it did on a line. Grant Norris, his second home run of the day to an identical spot as the first. And just a couple pitches from Banks and the Kettleers extend their lead. It's 4-1.
Center's pretty deep in this ballpark. That ball was crushed. Got it in the low part of the zone right over the plate. That was in the wheelhouse for Grant Norris. Showing all that power to go up the middle like that. His second home run out to center field.
First pitch to Kitei, a curve that drops in for strike 1. Norris getting a lot of cheers over in the Cotuit bullpen. The 0-1 on the ground towards first. Darby has it off the bounce and tags the base for a 3 unassisted. That's out number 1. YD has had one of the best pitching staffs all season, and Banks has only made 2 appearances. He's gone an inning and a third. But in a game with Cotuit, that was just a 2-run game coming into this inning, as we have a pinch hitter for Brock Wills. It's number 6, Trey Younger. It just feels like a really interesting choice in a game that would be a huge momentum win for YD if they could come back. Instead, putting Max Banks on the mound feels like not quite giving your team the best chance to win today, as Banks gives up a home run to the first batter he's faced. 1-0 to Younger. He chops it foul up the third base line to even the count 1-1. Banks has his glove tucked under his arm. Now set at the belt into the line. The 1-1 falls inside, runs in on Younger. It's 2-1. Trey Younger, a more recent addition to the lineup for Cotuit. Finished up his career at Wofford as he fouls back this one right at our faces where we'd be if the fence wasn't protecting us. It's 2-2. He is transferring to Georgia Tech come fall for a grad year. Stands at 5'9" in the righty box. The 2-2 on the way. Flown out towards right. Apodaca sprinting in, and it drops in front of him in shallow right field for a base hit. Trey Younger comes in to pinch hit and gets it done, as Cotuit has a man on first.
Outfield position really deep there for YD, and it cost him. That's a fly out if you're positioned in your normal spots, but the Red Sox had their guys pushed back near the warning track, and ball just deposited underneath of Enzo Apodaca.
Brings up Jacob Tobias in the bottom part of this Cotuit order. Number 18 in the lefty box. Stafford crouched behind, anticipating the first pitch from Banks. which bounces in, chested down by Stafford, picks it up as he knocked it up the first base line. Younger goes diving head first back to the bag. Banks wants a new ball as the count's 1-1 to Tobias. Tobias set, waving the walnut black bat. The 1-0 swung on and missed. He lost the bat with one of his hands. That ended up as a one-arm swing. Swung through what likely would have been ball 2 atop the zone. Instead, it's 1-1. Tobias just hungry for a hit, wants to advance his teammate. Darby guarding the bag at first, and he gets a pickoff move from Banks. Evenly spaced infield, we haven't seen the dramatic shifts we've come to know from Coach Pickler. Similarly to last time against Cotuit, the 1-1 runner goes. Throw from Stafford is high again and sails into center field. The second throwdown from Stafford today, this one even more errant than the first. And Trey Younger is safe on the stolen base.
Yeah, Younger put some pressure on Stafford there with a good jump, and he was already most of the way up the line when Stafford let go of that ball. Probably wouldn't have had him, but another tough one for Stafford. And now Scott Pickler is out of the Whitey dugout and looks a little bit displeased with home plate umpire. Maybe thinks that there was some sort of interference there from Tobias.
Coach Pickler appears calm, less so than our home plate umpire, who seems frustrated with the interruption to the game. Cotuit, like YD, is one of 2 ballparks in the league that does not have lights. And so there can be no delays. The longer this game runs on, the better chance there is that it gets cut off. But for Coach Pickler right now, his team is losing. He wants this game to go as far as possible. 2 balls and a strike with 1 gone in the bottom of the 7th. Jacob Tobias hammers this down the line in left field. It drops and now rolls foul. Younger sprinting around. He gets to home safely. And Tobias into second on the stand-up double. That ball was a laser down the third base line. Cotuit scores again. They've played at 2 in this inning, and they lead 5-1.
It's a swing to move runners right there. Opposite field, line drive. That's scoring the man from second every single time. Really nice piece of work from Tobias. And Banks just trying to hold things together for his team here in the 7th.
First pitch on the way drops inside to a dancing James McCoy stumbling out of the way. McCoy 0 for 2 today with a strikeout swinging and a flyout. 1 gone for YD, who's already given up 2 in the inning. Jacob Tobias on second. He just scored Trey Younger, who came in to pinch hit for Brock Wills. The 1-0, a fastball at the top of the zone at 92 miles an hour, evens the count 1-1. Banks twists his hips, now set. Looking down his batter, the kick and deal. The curve is nicely laid off by McCoy. It's 2-1. Swinging the arm with the ball is Banks. He nods, now set. Small lead from Tobias. Banks checks, now deals, and it's on the ground towards second. Day scoops it and tosses it over to first. That's the only play he had. Tobias advances to third, and McCoy is retired on the ground out. Teo Banks with a single today. He's 1 for 2. steps back into the righty box. His first time facing Banks. Fresh count, 2 outs, bottom 7. Cotuit leads 5-1, and the first pitch is a check swing. He goes around, and it's called a strike regardless. Banks a visually deep breath as the wind is picking up slightly, continuing to blow outwards in Lowell Park. The 0-1 bounces in the dirt, gets slightly away from Stafford, but it's pushed up the third base line to hold Tobias at bay. It's a ball and a strike to the left fielder. It's a Banks on Banks matchup right now. Max Banks and Teo Banks. Unrelated. The 1-1 bounces again in the dirt ahead of the plate. It's 2-1. As Max is struggling with his command, Teo lays off. Just finished off his sophomore year at Tulane. Member of the Green Wave, where he batted .301 through 61 games played. The 2-1 sails above the head. It's 3-1. Banks was part of the Miracle Tulane team that had a rough season, only won 19 games in the regular season, and then somehow won their conference tournament to make it to the NCAA tournament. That was one of the best storylines of the season, I think. 3 balls and a strike. Pitch on the way. Drops inside for ball 4. Runners on the corners for the Kettleers, and Carter Matheson, who's 2 for 2 with a walk, is stepping up to the bag. If anybody could be at the plate for Cotuit right now, this is who they would pick, other than, Grant Norris, who's had himself an unbelievable day. But Matheson is just a machine for getting on base. He could either load him or send one home right now. He's set, standing motionless in the lefty box, now wiggles the bat slightly. Banks at the belt. Small lead from Teo Banks, and it's lined into right center field, out of the way of the diving Brady Day. The throw to third is not in time. Jacob Tobias comes in to score. Teo Banks advances to third, and runners on the corners once again. Carter Matheson needs just 1 pitch for his 3rd hit of the day.
Another rope from these Cotuit bats. They've been hitting the ball hard, and all game this has been what Cotuit has had this season with their dominance. You see lots of guys hitting over 300, and it's a couple of guys every night for Cotuit that are stepping up with multi-hit games. And this offense can score better than anybody else in the league, and it's certainly shown here tonight.
First pitch on the way to Cole Mathis is framed nicely on the curveball for strike 1, 78 miles an hour. And this is exactly what we were talking about, Luke. When we saw Max Banks coming into the game, it felt like there were going to be a couple of runs given up in this inning. That's exactly what's happened. There are 2 outs now, and with runners on the corners, Banks just trying to get out of this without giving up anything else and give his team just a chance to get back into it. In the top of the 8th, YD just 6 more outs left to work with. Now facing a 5-run deficit is the 0-1 on the ground, fair up the third base line. That'll be extra bases. Vieira running around towards it. 1 run scores for Cotuit, and coming to home, now held up. Matheson is caught in the rundown. He's tagged out for out number 3, but the run scores, and Cotuit will head to the top of the 8th, leading 7-1 at Lowell Park. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Enzo Apodaca leads off for the Red Sox. Last inning, they faced a 2-run deficit. Now it's 5 as the first pitch comes in below the zone for ball 1. From Cam Schulke, the Submariner, who is back on the mound. He's been doing good work, making quick work of YD, who have been scoreless since the 3rd. Apodaca holds off on strike 1, 68 miles per hour breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. The speed changes from Cam Schulke are perhaps what makes his pitching the most dangerous. That and the sidearm is just so unexpected, not unexpected, but rare in the sport to see a Submariner with such good pitch locating. Ball 2 fell below the knees. It's 2-1 for Apodaca. Pitch on the way. Grounded foul up the third base line. Pickler dancing out of the way. Counts even 2-2. Apodaca couldn't square the bat all the way around, but got good contact. Now Schulke twisting the ball behind his back, glove at the hip. Apodaca set in the lefty box. Pitch on the way. And it's just below the zone. A tough hold from Apodaca goes his way. The count runs full. Theo Hardy on deck. And the payoff from Schulke, swung on and missed for strike 3. Apodaca battles to a long at-bat, but comes up fruitless and goes down swinging. The order flips over as Theo Hardy is coming up for just his 3rd time around through 8 innings. Cotuit's pitching has been fantastic tonight. Theo Hardy has a single, struck out swinging, and a walk. He holds off at a called strike 1. Emilian Pitre is slightly pulled over to the right at second. There's a big gap up the middle. The 0-1 is below the knees, and a good hold from Hardy evens it up. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, top of the 8th. And it's pushed foul into the backstop for strike 2. Today is the first time that YD has dropped in the Cape League power rankings. They've been sitting at number 3 for the past couple of weeks. Today came in at number 4. As Banks holds off on ball 2, a fastball up in the zone. The Falmouth Commodores, who were on a winning streak of their own before it was ended by Cotuit, beat them out. Ball 2 away, or ball 3, excuse me. I think Hardy might have thought that was strike 3 because he kind of turned around towards the dugout, but went back to the box as the count is full once again. The pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Twirling the bat, spinning in a circle. Theo Hardy goes down the same form as Apodaca, and it's Max Vieira coming to the plate with 2 gone.
Yeah, Schulke, after getting hammered by YD his first time against the Red Sox during YD's home opener, has been untouchable today. YD's only gotten a couple balls in play off him, and he has struck out a ton of batters.
First pitch to Vieira falls off the plate. Counts 1-0. The righty tilts the back slightly back. The 1-0. Pumped foul towards us at the fence. It's 1-1. Now reset once again. Schulke looks over at third. The 1-1 popped up foul behind our heads, and it drops a couple of feet behind us, just inches in front of a boy sitting right behind us. Count moves to 1-2.
Dangerous.
Just shows you no matter how much protection you have in a ballpark, these foul balls will find a way to come at you regardless. A ball and 2 strikes to Vieira. The pitch on the way. Looked over the heart of the plate to me, but could have been just outside, and it's ball 2. Screams of anguish from the crowd here at that call. The 2-2 pitch is just bumped foul as Vieira fights for his life in the at-bat. YD is being forced to wait back on these pitches. Schulke's velocity is a lot lower than a lot of these other Cape League pitchers, but it's the movement that gets all these strikeouts. Another 2-2 on the way, falls off the plate. And it's another full count, this time with 2 gone in the top of the 8th. Vieira taps the plate, now resets. Schulke moving quickly, the payoff. Swung on and missed. Schulke strikes out the side in the 8th, and the Kettleers continue to roll. They lead 7-1 as we head to the bottom of the 8th on the Cape League Broadcast Network. I did not. Bottom of the 8th at Lowell Park. And Max Banks is back on the mound for YD. This feels like a game that Coach Pickler has given up on as he faces Caleb Lomavita. The catcher out of Cal Berkeley, first pitch on the way, is bumped foul into the glove of Ryan Stafford for strike 1. Lomavita 1 for 3. He had a monster double 2 plate appearances ago. Had a line out last time around. Banks the kick, the deal, swung on and missed. Strike 2. Maybe the first time we've seen Max Banks get out to an 0-2 count. 11 hits now for Cotuit, just 4 for YD. As Cotuit leads 7-1, the 0-2 popped up, might be a play on it. Sprinting over is Stafford, but it gets behind and onto the tent, right behind the fence. Count remains the same, we'll do it again. Banks, number 25, rubbing some dirt on the new ball. As he sets himself back on the mound, Lomavita points the bat out now, back on the shoulder, another 0-2 at the shoulders this time, and it's 1-2. The flag in center field waving slightly more vigorously than before. The wind blowing around the trees in the outfield at one of the most picturesque ballparks across the league. The 2-2 swung on and missed at the top of the zone. Max Banks gets a very important out, number 1. Here in the 8th, YD will have just 3 outs left to work with in the 9th, but hoping to move quickly through a Cotuit lineup that has been spraying it all over the field today. And that brings up Grant Norris. Speaking of spraying it all over the field, he has 2 home runs and a single, 3 for 3, as he takes a first pitch called strike. Waving the bat in a couple of circles, now reset. Banks the deep breath into the wind. He delivers on the ground, and it sneaks through the glove of Ryan Jackson for hit number 4. Vieira has it out in left field, tosses it over today. The diving Jackson just couldn't get a glove around the hard hit grounder from Grant Norris. 2 singles, 2 home runs, not a bad day from the Penn State grad student.
Another one through the 5-6 hole. Balls have just squeaked through there all day long.
Banks set for the first pitch to Emilian Pitre. It's on the way, and it's a big cut and miss for strike 1. Norris with a small lead over on first. We haven't seen a stolen base attempt from Cotuit in a couple of innings, but Stafford has not incensed them otherwise. The 0-1 drops off the plate. It's 1-1. Another big space in the 5-6 hole as Jackson is pinched over towards second. The 1-1 broken bat as the ball is flipped towards us. It wasn't even a broken bat. Kitei just let go of the bat, and the whole thing flew over towards the YD dugout. A lot of noise in the crowd after that. Very loud strike, too.
That almost got over the netting and into the stands, but protective stuff did its job there.
The ball gets away from Stafford. It bounces off his glove and almost into the Cotuit dugout. 2-2, and Norris has advanced a bag on the passed ball. Kitei still in that lefty batter's box. Number 4 swinging a black and tan bat, color blocked, with black gloves, black shoes. I'm sensing a theme. Cotuit in the classic white pinstripes. The 2-2 chopped foul once again, and the count remains the same. Kitei out of Quebec, Canada. Was a second-team All-SEC selection out of Kentucky. Another 2-2 on the way. Fastball inside, and it's another full count from Banks, who started this one off with a quick strikeout. Since then, it has been a long at-bat. Kitei waiting on the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Norris has advanced to second. He's shuffling around back and forth. Banks takes a look. The payoff, swung on and missed at the ball up in the zone. Kitei goes down swinging. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Max Banks.
It's clearly got some good stuff. It's been a little bit around the zone, and when it's been in the zone, it's been right in the perfect spots to hit today for Max Banks, but he's found a bit of a rhythm here in the 8th.
First pitch to Trey Younger drops away for ball 1. Younger came in as a pinch hitter last inning and is now back for his second time around. He singled. He's 1 for 1 on the day. Grad transferring to Georgia Tech. The 1-0 blows by his head at 90 miles an hour for ball 2. Younger batted .360 in 2023 over at Wofford with 81 hits, 49 RBIs. He has a runner in scoring position right now. Banks takes his time now, deals the 2-0 again at the head, shuffling over Stafford, and Younger is out to a 3-0 count. A packed crowd here at Lowell Park. Cotuit, one of the most historic teams in the Cape League, celebrating its 100th anniversary this season. The 3-0 is a fastball down the heart of the plate, so Banks won't give up the 4-pitch walk. It's 3-1. 2 outs, just looking for something Younger can put in play. Cotuit has tripled YD's hits now, 12 to YD's 4. The 3-1 off the plate, ball 4. And there's 2 aboard for the Kettleers, who just won't back down.
Everybody's done something productive pretty much for this Kettleer team in the lineup. It's been getting on base, bringing in a run, just moving runners over. Everybody's doing their part for this team.
First ball bounces in, nice block from Stafford. Jacob Tobias, who holds off. He's 1 for 3, doubled his last time at the plate. It was a hard hit grounder up this third base line. He ended up on second, standing up. ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Pitch on the way, a big cut and a miss, and the count's even at 1-1. Tobias out of Arizona State stands at 6'1". He just finished up his sophomore year over there in Tempe. Banks kicks and deals, and it's hammered out towards right field, sprinting over. Apodaca grabs it at the shoelaces. Not an easy catch to make, but he does. He holds Cotuit off the board. They still lead 7-0, and we're headed to the 9th. 2 hours, 10 minutes of game time. It's been a fast one at Lowell Park. You're listening to YD Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Back for the top of the 9th. Cape Cod Healthcare is proud to be the official healthcare sponsor of the Cape Cod Baseball League. With 6 convenient urgent care centers across Cape Cod from Falmouth to Orleans, we're ready to treat a variety of minor illnesses and injuries so you can get back to your regularly scheduled summer plans quickly. Open daily with no appointment needed and staffed by board-certified ER providers. First pitch on the way to Hunter Hines. Drops in for a called strike 1. View wait times at capecodhealth.org. Cape Cod Healthcare Urgent Care, minor emergencies, major attention. 0-1 to Hunter Hines. Pitch on the way, pushed foul into the fence, and he's quickly down 0-2. Hines has struck out twice today and reached on a walk. Here in the top of the 9th, YD trails by 6 as the sky darkens quickly. Hines lays off an off-speed curve at 71 miles an hour, but doesn't get the call. It's still Schulke on the mound dealing. That one was an overhand throw. The 1-2 below the knees, and count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The sky feels like it's gotten really dark really quickly, and it's not even very late, only 7:12 p.m., but heavy clouds have settled over the area. The 2-2 again at the knees, but can't find the zone, and the count is full.
If you're going to rally, you better do it quick.
The payoff, swung on and missed. Not even a full strength swing. I think Hines just shaking his head and knew he didn't have that one in him. Third strikeout of the day for the heavy swinger. And that brings up Ryan Stafford with just 2 outs left for the Red Sox to work with. Fresh count. He bumps the first pitch foul for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike to Ryan Stafford, who's over 3 today in his first game back after his hiatus to play for Team USA. The pitch falls outside for ball 1. The 2023 Cape Cod Baseball League All-Star Game presented by Milton CAT will be held at White House Field, home of the Harwich Mariners, on Saturday, July 22nd, a week from today. The 1-1 swung on and missed, tipped into Loma Vita's glove. Tickets can be purchased for the All-Star Game at CapeCodBaseballStore.com. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out in the top of the 9th. Schulke taking his time, twisting the ball in his right hand. Shakes off a couple of pitches. Still twisting. and a pitch clock violation. So that adds a ball to Stafford's count, evens it up. I was waiting for that pitch clock violation because Schulke was up there for a long time. The 2-2 off the plate and ball 3. So instead of ball 2 there, because of that violation, now it's a full count to Ryan Stafford, who has not reached base today. The payoff popped up behind our heads into the woods. And foul, 7th pitch of the at-bat, now on the way. The payoff hit well towards center field, but straight away, and Matheson's underneath it for out number 2. YD's had some good contact today sporadically. Up and down the lineup, can't find it there, and coming to the plate for the first time in a long time, it's RJ Austin, one of the best bats in the YD lineup. He's been out due to injury with a sprained ankle for about a week now, and this is his first plate appearance since going down with an injury a couple of games ago. Really nice to see him back out here. If anything, it's just a sign that YD is moving back to full strength going forward. First pitch to Austin at the bottom of the zone for strike 1.
Yeah, you really like to see that. Got that injury. Tested out that ankle during batting practice. Didn't like it a few days ago.
Austin checks swing at a called strike 2. And YD is down to their final strike. Score is 7-1 Cotuit. Pitch on the way. Popped foul over our heads and out of play. As Austin lives to see another day, count remains 0-2. Evenly spaced infield. Paxton Kling out of LSU on deck. If it gets there, another 0-2. Swung on and missed, and Schulke retires the side. That's the game. Cotuit extends their league-leading win streak to 8 games. That's their 22nd win of the season. They're more than 15 points ahead of the second-place team in the West. And YD extends their losing streak to an unfortunate 3 games. The momentum swing for this team has been unbelievable the past couple of days. Just 4 hits today, Luke. In addition, yesterday, or 2 days ago, was a similar story, and the YD bats have not been what we know they can be.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a tough one these past couple of days for the YD offense. Good to see that RJ Austin is coming back, and we hope can be in the lineup for the coming games, as he got that late pinch hit opportunity. But you know, regardless of what happens with the pitching, it wasn't Smith Pinson's best day. He's been a guy who's been really solid for this team all season. Didn't necessarily have his night, but still held things together. He only gave up 3 runs over the course of the 6 innings. If your offense is producing, you're still, by all means, in the game. But 1 run over 9 innings against the league's best team is just not going to cut it, regardless of what your pitching does. And time to reset, move on, and head back home for tomorrow.
Another poor appearance as well for Max Banks out of the bullpen. I'd honestly be surprised to see his name in the active roster for much longer than he's already been there. We're reaching a point in the season where after the draft there's been a little bit more roster turnover. YD has a couple of new faces. I thought that Theo Hardy had a nice day in the leadoff spot, all things considered. He got in at 5 a.m. this morning, so even to be starting today, have a solid day in the field. He turned a couple nice double plays. That was a positive sign to see. YD will be back at home tomorrow playing Falmouth, a team that's been really hot in the East. At 4:45, you know where to be, the YD Red Sox YouTube channel. As always, it's been Perri, Kitei, and Luke West. Poley, thank you, and good night.